Yeah. Hello. Today we're gonna talk about typeof and instanceof in JavaScript. So typeof is a unary operator. It checks if the value is an element of a primitive type. It returns a string representing the type of its operand. If we check, for example, number, it returns a number and then objects, then functions. The only problem with typeof when we want to check the arrays. So I'll show you the example. Sorry. 3 fingers. Yeah. Thanks. For example, function check array, for example, and we pass the argument as for example r, and then to check it we return typeof equal usually we write array to check if it's array or not, but let's try, we do it, what's gonna happen. What do you think it will return?
Error?
Yeah. Arrow.
Yeah.
So,
Huh?
typeof. Yeah, sorry, arrow. Returns false. God's sake. So to check if it's array or not, we write I think just a second. Ricardo.
Yeah.
Can we start again?
So let's keep going. So look the point, right? Array dot is array. Why this is not working?
It's array, yeah. You have to put
capital, right?
capital, yeah. Oh my god, just a bit of news.
Showing us that we need to have capitals.
Yeah.
So she's
Yeah.
Because JavaScript is case sensitive.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. So to check if it's array, we need to write this type. Instead of typeof, we need to write array is array. For example, if we want to check number, we write change the yes. number, and here we'll put number, for example, 5. That will return true, because it is a number.
What happens if you pass a string as a number? So you pass, for example, 5 with quotes in the check array function. Exactly. Whether true or false?
False, because it's a string, so here we need to change it to string. That would return true.
Yeah.
But if we pass, for example, object, and here also, and here we pass string, sorry, array, that would return. What do you think it will return? That would return true, because in typeof array it counts as an object. So to make it more like, we need to put and to make sure that it's return false, we write not equal to is not equal to array is array. That would return false, because we add this not also to check if it's not array as well.
So you need to pass array is array, you need to pass the number, right? The variables. Array is array as a method, right?
Yeah. As a number?
No, I mean the way. So I got what you are trying to do, right? So you are trying to check if what you are passing is a proper object.
Yes.
So this is correct. First of all, typeof should be an object, agree, and then it shouldn't be an array to make sure that what you pass is not in. I get the idea, but if you notice, and then at the free at the end, you should invoke array.isArray as a method. Yeah, array.isArray.
Yeah.
As a method. You
Yeah.
should put parentheses and then the name of the variable, right? Is that?
On here?
Yeah, of course. Array is array of what? What is it as an array? Yes, parentheses and then the number, right? Yes, correct. Correct.
Yeah, that's worked now. So the same goes to the date and the So for the if we want to check function, let me go to instanceof. Yeah, so instanceof is a binary operator. Its syntax is instanceof constructor, and if we want to check to instance is the we need to make its functions constructor. So also the instanceof operator tests whether the prototype property of a constructor appears anywhere in the prototype chain of an object. The instanceof operator tests the presence of constructor prototype in objects prototype chain. Then also the instance of operator tells you whether an object is an instance of a certain type. The so-called type is a constructor. Also, the instance of doesn't work with primitive values, and the primitive types in JavaScript are strings, numbers, boolean, null, and undefined. So, for example, if we want to check something with instance of, we need to make it a constructor as a constructor function. Like, sorry. For example, that for new string, and we pass, we want to say, for example, hello. Also, for example, let equal to string. So if we pass it to the console log, and to check if it's string or not, we will use here instanceof method. And if we don't use new, here is the constructor function with new, and here is the primitive type. So write console. Let's go. So in first case it should return true because we passed new here, which make it as a constructor type, and here should return false. So
we need to vote for that.
Console log.
Yes, that's great.
Yes, because if we remove this word here, we will see that they are different. First return string, with the length and everything, and second one returns hello. That's why they're two different types. And if we're using instanceof, we have to pass new to make sure it returns strings or number. For example, with numbers, same, with the right number. And then here as well. Oops. Number. So it's a similar example. We'll see. First is true, and second is false. When we check in function, if it's function or not, we better use a typeof instead of instance. For example, I give you an example. Now let's check something else. For example, function. We're gonna check what is the make of the car and the model and year. This year is year. Some spaces between. Equal to new, let auto equal to new car. And then we're writing what's the name of the car, make of the car. Let's say Toyota. Model B class, for example. And the year is 1998. So if we want to check if the car, just a second. The auto is of car, and also if it's an object, if the auto is an object. So let's see what will it return.
Really notice that lines 7, 8, 9, 10 are inside of the function. They should be outside of the function.
Yeah, they both returns true, as we see, because we passed the new. Yeah. That would false. So we have to pass to make it constructor, to make the instance of work. So we have to pass new word there. And just a second. So with a new, if we remove new, it won't work. So just a second, and this summary. If you're dealing with primitive objects, use typeof to distinguish them. because typeof returns function for functions. It can also be useful for checking if an object member of or a function argument is a function. So if you're working out the constructor of an object, use its constructor property. And if you are dealing with lengthy inheritance chains and you want to find out whether an object inherits from a certain constructor, use instanceof. That's it, really. Yeah, so it's as I said, if you want to check if the function is better, use typeof instead of instanceof, because it returns false. And also, if you want to work with the constructor, you have if with the instance of, you have to make sure you're working with constructor type, not with primitive type.
So is there any scenario where we go with constructor? So you explained technically speaking, right? When you get the string hello. Is there any point of using new string hello?
New string hello?
Yeah, the example you presented before, right? You have two strings, and one of them, the way you create the string was doing new string, parentheses.
Okay.
So,
also, it works with the classes, the instance of.
yeah.
Yeah, so if we do example with the class. Welcome. Just a second, please. Yeah, I want to show you the example if you with the function. Let foo equal to so as we see, it's not a function, but if we want to check it, if it's function or not, if, for example, if we will use instance of, it will return true. Even so, it's not a function. So if you want to check if it's function or not, we better use typeof. We have to use typeof method. Sorry? Yeah.
No, don't invoke it, just food. Yeah. Clear the console, please, again.
Clear the console.
Yeah, because we cannot see anything on the screen. Now let's clear the bottom. At the bottom. Yes, thank you. Do it again, please. It is a function, right? That's why it's.
Why is it function? But if you pass the parenthesis, it's not a function. I mean.
Yeah, that's a weird thing, actually.
Yeah.
Because the point here is what's the difference between a function and an object? What's the difference between an array and an object? The line is sometimes not that obvious. Because at the end of the day, JavaScript, everything is an object.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we explained call, bind, and apply? With the function dot call, function dot apply, function dot bind, dot. Dot works with objects. That's why everything is an object in JavaScript, right? You can do string dot split, right? Dot notation, but everything at the end of the day is an object. We'll learn that next week when talking about prototype and inheritance.
Yeah.
So
This is actually, yeah, connect.
right? So that's why this kind of utilities of using instanceof, typeof to check if it's an object or not is relative, because at the end everything is an object, right?
Yeah, so these topics actually connected to prototypes.
Yeah.
When I was researching, lots of things came up as a prototype.
Yeah.
They all connected to each other.
So is there any scenario in real life where you will use instanceof or typeof?
Yeah, of course, like if we want to check if there is a big function, long function, if we want to check if it's a number, so we use typeof, and not just number, anything, type of instance of, so.
Do you remember in which type of problems we use typeof a lot? Recursion, correct? Remember? If typeof is a number, do something. If it's an object,
Yeah,
go deeper, right?
yeah, and then if we check it, we can change the value from number to string or anything like similar to that.
Yeah. So typeof and instanceof, they've been there since the first day, right? Since 1995. That was Crackful. He talks a lot about them. But they are weird. As here is speaking, all JavaScript is just weird, right? So, because in some cases you start liking it, okay, type of number if it's a number, type of string if it's a string. But if it's an array, typeof returns object. Like, well, why? I'm sure someone will explain.
Yeah, in the future they will
At
fix
least
it.
now you got array.isArray, right? So the newer standards sometimes, instead of adding new functionalities, they need to fix what all JavaScript did wrong, or at least not as good as we would expect, right?
Yeah. So that's it really.
Anything else for myself? Any question? Why instanceof and typeof, they are all in lowercase, right? Why do you use camel-case?
Wait, on my
No, generally speaking, you would use typeof.
yeah.
The O to me should be capital, right? It's not. Same on instance of O should be capital.
Yeah.
O, right? It's not.
This is the way they created.
It's the way they create it, yes.
Maybe so it will be easier to type and less complicated to realize like there is a mistake or something like that.
Anything else for myself? Guys, Bala, Mo.
Do you have any questions? Mo, you have any questions? No, thanks.
Cool, thank you guys all.
Oh my God.